Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Rose Does Business Basics. My name is Rose Davidson from doesbiz.com. These programs are, there will be topics relating to small businesses, whether you are a startup or have been in business for a while and maybe just need to an information update, or perhaps you just need a little bit of help along the way. And this week I will be discussing how to create a standard operating procedure and why you need to have one or perhaps several of them. As always, there will be an opportunity for a question and answer session for about 5 minutes at the end of the broadcast. If I don't get to your question during the Q&A, be assured that I will answer later on. Please feel free also to leave your feedback at any time. This will help me in making improvements as I progress with these broadcasts. So let's get started with that. So creating a standard operating procedure. So the purpose of a standard operating procedure is when you start a business, you may have a clear idea of how you want to handle your marketing, your finance, your customer services, and your hiring and so forth. You may even be doing a lot of those jobs yourself. If not, your staff may be small enough, but it's easy for you to train everybody. As your business grows, you'll have to delegate those tasks to staff. As your staff grows, sharing your idea on how to do the work with every employee becomes impractical. A training program can help, but it requires employees to take the time to train newbies in procedures and do it well enough so that everyone follows the rules. So the objective of having a standard operating procedure, or SOP, is to tell your team in detail how to carry out certain tasks. It can be written, hard copy document, a PowerPoint presentation, a wiki, or any method of communication that gets the point across. You may not need an SOP for every detail of the day, but where safety, health, or legal compliance is important, a written SOP is a must. So during this presentation, we will explore what SOPs are, why you should have them, and how to create them. So a standard operating procedure is a step of instructions, as I explained earlier, and it's compiled by an organisation to help workers carry out complex routine operations. So an SOP aims to achieve efficiency, quality output, and uniformity of performance, and it reduces miscommunication and failure to comply with industry regulations. And that is the Wikipedia definition of what an SOP is. So standard operating procedures are written step-by-step instructions that describe, as I said, to perform routine activities. And employees should complete them in the exact same way every time so that the business can remain consistent. Standard operating procedures help maintain safety and efficiency for areas such as productivity and operations, sales and customer service, employee training, legal requirements, and financial requirements. Your first standard operating procedures are for the tasks that are already generating revenue. These are likely the nearest and dearest to your heart, and these are the two to define revenue. Tasks that make you money within 6 days of completing the task, so you've done a task and someone pays you. Tasks that make your customers so happy that they spread the word and bring you more business, so that's direct references, positive reviews, social media engagements, etc. And why have them? Well, some business owners have a hard time grasping why an SOP is necessary. They've already trained their employees, so why do they need a written document outlining the process as well? Well, this is sort of like asking why doctors have written a list of procedures they follow before performing surgery, or why the Drug Administration has a written list of procedures on how restaurants can handle food. Here are just a few of the reasons. They save time and money. When the same task is completed in many different ways, it will always take longer to complete. Having an SOP in place streamlines the process so employees can accomplish more in less time, and it makes you more money. They provide consistency. Having an SOP procedure in place ensures that regardless of who is working, business processes are always completed in the correct way. They improve communication. Standard operating procedures make your employees' job easier because no longer do they have to guess on how they have to do something, but they will know because the SOP is there, and if they forget something, then they can go back through it and refresh their memories and go through it the way you want them to do it. They allow you to hold your employees accountable. So this is how you can evaluate whether your employees have complied with the written standards. And without these SOPs in place, an employee evaluation can become a matter of personal opinion rather than a fair and equitable judgment on their work practices. And they create a safer working environment. When employees perform the same tasks in completely different ways, it is not only inefficient, it is actually a liability for your business. SOPs ensure that employees perform the job functions in a safe and consistent manner. One of the biggest misconceptions about a standard operating procedure is that they will cause businesses to become rigid and inflexible. But this isn't true. Everyone has input into an SOP. Initially, it's the business owner, but once staff come on board, they will have some input and they will say, well, perhaps they could, tweak it and change it and do whatever to make it better. So, and it's an agreed outcome, and then it's written down again with your approval, and then it's passed on to the next group of employees. So just make sure that everything's consistent across the whole organisation for one process. And so what is an MVP? Again, through Wikipedia, the definition is it's a product with just enough features to satisfy early customers and to provide feedback for future product development. So you're gathering your insights from your MVP is often less expensive than developing a product with more features, which increases costs and risks if the product fails. So gathering, it's needed to get the early data that confirms user interest in a product. So positive results at the MVP stage give the green light to begin developing a full version of the product. So why do you need both an SOP and an MVP? Well, a fully formed SOP includes a title with the 6 Ps. An MVP, on the other hand, is made up of only the title and process. Creating MVPs for every single repeatable task in your business is the first step for an entrepreneur without any team members, especially if you seek team members and a fully systemised business in your future. MVPs give you a great starting point for future development. Excuse me, I'll get a drink. So if you weren't aware of this, the 5 Ps, it's passion, product, which leads to promotion of the product, which leads to the people, which leads to the place, which leads to the price. And why does passion matter? Well, it attracts attention and sparks conversations. Passion is caring about your brand, finding relevant brand news and sharing it with the brand's social community. Communicate passionately with your clients and prospects, and you'll increase the odds that they will take notice of your brand and want to learn more. and product is because people buy benefits, not products. And as a human race, we focus on what we as business owners, I should say, focus on what our customers think of our brands and how we use their products and services and who and what they see as the logical alternative to what we have to offer. Then comes promotion. And promotion lays out what and where we tell the world about our products or services to encourage more customers to buy more of what we have to offer more often. We like benefit-driven promotions that support a superior value proposition. And then comes the people. The more you know about your customer and your products or your services, the better, because at the root of all great advertising is a unique insight regarding the relationship our customers have with our products or services. Place can make or break a new or established brand and can be used to differentiate your brand from the competition. So it's how you are placed in the marketplace. That's what place means. And price, of course, is the integral piece of good value equation in a crowded marketplace. Most organisations lower their prices to compete for the available business, but a smart pricing strategy ensures that you remain competitive without diminishing your brand's value. Remember, cheaper isn't always better. So once you have the skeleton outline of each of your tasks, you can focus in on the tasks that generate the most revenue. And then you can flesh out the 6 Ps even further. So over time, you can flesh out each MVP as you perform the task you are outlining. If over the course of the month you write out every MVP as you perform each task, you will have fully systemised your business. Now you're ready to scale, hire on team members and generate more serious money. This is what we all want to have. So having a standard operating procedure is probably a lot to do with how we're marketing ourselves as a business, and having that as a sole trader or someone that might have 1 or 2 staff, but we do things online. Having these tasks, these SOPs ensures that we're doing the tasks the same way every time. So if you're a VA, for instance, and you decide you want to upscale your business and hire on more VAs, then the tasks that you've been doing aren't kept in your head. That's the basic principle of an SOP, so that the tasks aren't kept in your head and they're written down for the next person to follow, so they're doing it the same way that you've been doing it since you started your business. So if you're a business owner with some trusted team members, and which of course are your most valuable resource, so they will turn your MVPs into SOPs. MVPs are useful for tasks that are new to your company and aren't yet subject to a strict standard operating procedure, but should be. Create an MVP for these tasks and pass them to a team member who has already been performing the task. They are more in tune with the details than you are because they've been doing it. They are better poised to fill out the particulars of that particular task. And once they've done it, each SOP can be used in the future for training purposes. And that's, again, a good thing for SOPs and MVPs. They go hand in hand together. So how do we create an SOP? Well, first you have to make a list of tasks and then group them by area. So it could be your newsletter, your social media management, your analytics, your onboarding of new clients, creating new blog posts, a product launch, or customer emails, how these are handled. there should be an SOP for each of those things. So once you have your list, then you group them by area, and then you organise your SOP. So you're going to store your SOP somewhere your team has access to. So whether it's on a hard drive somewhere or a PowerPoint or it's written document, and the best options are is to keep it in the cloud, because then everyone has access to it and it can't get lost or stolen or any of those things. So you can either keep it in Google Drive or in Dropbox or OneDrive or whatever you choose to do. So you need to create folders for each category and subfolders for all the different tasks and processes. You need to be as organised as possible. Another option is to create a wiki using Google Sites. It allows you to create a company intranet where you can share info security and your team can collaborate. This is a free thing, and there are a lot of templates you can choose from. But I would suggest you create yours from scratch, because then you know what you're getting and you know what's in it. So then you start documenting your SOP. You don't have to document everything all at once. In fact, creating an SOP is an ongoing, it's a living document basically. So every time you perform a task, you need to document it. And so when someone else follows you, if they can find something that's missing, they can add to it. So just get the team members to document everything they do. That way you will go much faster rather than doing it on your own. And the structure of the document should be something like this. Create one document per task and give it a really clear title. Describe the process step by step in writing. Use numbered lists and bullet points. Write clear and short sentences that anyone can understand. You're not writing a novel, but you're writing instructions, much like a recipe. Use images and video, add screenshots to improve comprehension, and wherever possible, make a video of your screen and make sure you record yourself explaining what you are doing. Visuals are much more effective than words. Decide who will own this task, who is responsible for completing the task, and specify what systems or tools you need to perform this task. And that's it. So it's as simple as that. Doing SOPs, creating them is quite simple. So you make a title of your SOP and you put your business name on it. So a prerequisite is to outline the information and knowledge, the training, the software, the equipment, etc. required to implement a procedure. And then the purpose is to describe the functional purpose of the SOP and what it will accomplish. The goal is, I guess, if applicable. Describe how this SOP is meaningful in the grand scheme of things and what performing the duties included in the SOP contributes to the business in the long term. Now, in my PowerPoint slides, these all are pretty and they come out slidey and they're very animated and I love them, but can't do it here, which is unfortunate. So then there's policy. So policy describes the rules associated with performing the procedure and the guidelines within which the person performing this task must perform. So work that must be performed on Mondays, or a final product must go live at a certain time, that sort of thing. So then in the party, you put details of who is responsible for managing or executing that particular standard operating procedure. And then there's process. So you create the skeleton for the procedure, laying out the general big picture steps that must be taken to accomplish the task. For example, if this is an SOP for publishing a weekly email, the process might look like log into MailChimp, add content to template, format text, insert image, send test email, get approval, and schedule. Easy. Then there's the procedure. And there's step one, so you need to identify activities or events that occur for the main process and provide descriptions. So when the main process is subdivided, identify each process and provide a brief description. So it's like a subheading, I guess. So you just keep going and going and going. And step 2 is to identify the next activities or events that occur in the main process and then put subheadings to those. And so forth and so on until you've finally finished and get to the end. So you continue with as many main steps and sub-processes as needed to thoroughly outline the complete procedure. Use screenshots and web link references as required. And then there's probe. So the follow-up that needs to happen to ensure that the procedure was carried out properly. So you check off tasks in the teamwork checklist or notify a team member to review the process. Then you sign it off, so it was created by, you put the department or whoever created it, it has been revised at any time. And then, just save it up to the cloud. So a couple of tips. Before we go, I want to give you these 2 tips. Start by documenting the tasks that you should not be doing so that you can delegate them faster. For example, customer support or accounting. So if those things are something that you won't be doing yourself, then delegate them out to somebody else and they can write an SOP for them. And tip 2 is just because you've documented a process, it doesn't mean that you cannot change it. The way you do things in your business can change as you and your business evolve and grow. And that's a good thing, but always remember to update your standard operating procedure to reflect those changes, most importantly. Otherwise, you may end up with a mix of old and new documents, and that doesn't guarantee that your team will perform the tasks the way they should and the way you want them to. So can you make one? Of course you can. It's easy. For many business owners and entrepreneurs, the thought of writing an MVP, much less an SOP, for every single task in their company is an overwhelming thought. But it's common to run into entrepreneurs who have crazy good ideas but no mindful structure and systems. Having SOPs will set you free. Yay! It will allow you to start delegating and scale your business faster. If you don't have time to get it done, you may want to hire an online business manager to give you a hand with it. It's a great way to let someone with a structured mind get it done for you if you don't have time. If possible, if you have team members, they should also start documenting everything they do. The next time they perform a task, ask them to document it. In a few months, you should have your SOPs ready. SOPs will guide your future team members through tasks without constant supervision, and your freedom depends on these. So you're not sitting around constantly supervising. So if you feel like you might need some help in structuring your standard operating procedures, please get in touch with me at rose@doesbiz.com or give me a call. And if you'd like a copy of the template, just in the comment section, just put a yes, and I'll make sure that you get one. So that's about it for me tonight. Again, I'm a little bit early. So that was us today. So if you'd like a copy of the template, you can either head over to the shop at doesbiz.com, or you can put yes down in the comments below this video, and I'll make sure that you get a copy. Anyway, thank you for joining me tonight. If you have any questions, please let me have them. Hit me with them. Okay, that's no problems. All right, well. So, if you want to catch the replay, you can head on over to, Rose Does Business Basics Facebook group, and the link, I've put that link in the comments. And the group is for anyone who wants to learn some hints and tips on how to grow their business, or they might have staff and they're not quite sure where they need to go. And at the moment, the first 100 members will have free lifetime access to all content that's in that group. So that includes all videos and all the documents that I put in there. And after that, the group will become a private group, and there will be a fee for people who want to join. So that's it for me for tonight. I'll talk to you next week, and next week we're talking about PowerPoint slides, how to make an effective PowerPoint presentation. The love of my life is PowerPoint. So I look forward to talking to you next week, and enjoy your evening, and it's bye for now. Bye.